Everybody, do the iPod shuffle. Oh, great heavens. Apple, how could you? These poor boys condemned to a horrible fiery death.
Hi, YouTube.
Spicy pillows, as they call them on Reddit. iPods, specifically the Shuffles and the Nanos, they're no strangers to this spicy pillow issue. Yep, this guy's in pretty bad condition. The whole entire click wheel is pretty much sticking out of the iPod. It's starting to lift up the actual aluminum itself. So what is this swelling? This swelling is actually caused by the chemical breakdown inside of the batteries over a really long time. And this usually causes like a buildup of gases and stuff. Now this is fairly normal with many electronics. The iPod, it's got a battery. You don't see it bloating like crazy. Lithium-ion batteries typically go through this exact process. It's normal for them. They grow and they shrink. Since this is a pretty normal process, most devices and electronics, they're designed with a little bit of extra space. You know, because when something's this big and it grows this much, you should probably aim for this much extra space. Now this extra little bit of breathing room, pretty standard with most things, but not all. A notable exception to this is the infamous Samsung Galaxy Note 7, or as I like to call it, please, you gotta believe me, I didn't know it was a bomb. The Note 7 was designed with such small tolerances and it had such a big battery that any normal kind of swelling could cause a puncture in it and, you know, kablooey. So yeah, typically you want to give your batteries some room to breathe, or you end up in this unfortunate situation like that of most Shuffles and Nanos. Now this is a first generation Nano, so the issue of swelling isn't too bad on this, because like its full-sized brother, the Nano can just be lifted up from the sides and the battery can be easily removed without causing really any damage to the iPod or any electronics inside of it. The same cannot be said for the second gen Nanos and pretty much any Nano afterwards. The Shuffles have a similar story, where the first generation, pretty alright. The second generation and onwards, those are when you start to see this swelling issue. The poor things are just so damn small and compact, which is no simple feat of engineering. But when those batteries do eventually start to age, and even just through normal use, the swelling typically ends up either cracking the screen, popping the screen out, or warping the chassis of the iPod. You can see in the case of this Shuffle, it's starting to bulge out of the aluminum shell. And obviously, this click wheel is crazy. It is completely outside of the iPod. The even shittier part of this whole thing is since the batteries are significantly bigger than when they were installed, there's simply no real way to fix it or replace the battery. Now there's some guides online on how to take it apart, but that really can only take you so far when your battery starts to swell so much. I know that with the second generation iPod Nano, everything, battery included, was literally shoved in there and closed off with one of these cap thingies. So you're taking a super thin battery, putting it in there, covering it up with more stuff, and then after a certain point of time or use, the battery gets a little bit bigger and, well, good luck trying to get the battery out of there. Alright, get your papers and your pens out. It's note-taking time. And by note-taking time, I mean, let me kind of try to show you what I mean by this. Imagine you got this cube, right? It has a hole right here. So you got a cube with a hole. No, this isn't the steam machine. This isn't the Gabe cube. And then you got yourself here a straw and a balloon. The balloon is deflated right now. I bet you can probably see where I'm going with this. You take your balloon, your deflated balloon, and you put it through this hole, right? You were able to shove the balloon through the hole in the cube, right? Then you put some wind behind it and it expands, right? Well, now you want to take the balloon out of your cube for balloon purposes. Well, you can, because now the balloon is significantly bigger than what it was when you put it in the first place. What do? Nothing. You give up. There's no other option. You could try popping the balloon, but in this case, your balloon will explode, or you can try destroying everything around it, so basically getting rid of the cube. Okay, so now you just have a huge battery left. You got rid of the important stuff. So you see the predicament the shuffles and the nanos are in. Yeah, so trying to get the battery out of this is next to impossible without blowing yourself the fuck up. Now, for obvious reasons, this is absolutely tragic because these are great and they're legitimately cromulent ways to listen to your music. Back in the day, you used to see people with these clipped onto their shirts or clipped onto their pants or shorts or whatever, and they'd be doing, I don't know, like exercising and stuff like that, skateboarding, because it was simple, it was easy. It's as compact, I think, as you can get, and the ease of use of it couldn't be more obvious. All you have to do is click play and you're done. No screen, no nothing, no playlist. You don't gotta worry about anything. You sync the songs that you like onto there, you turn it on, you click play. You don't like the track or you don't want to listen to it right now, skip it. You want to go back and hear it again, go back. Volume up, volume down, shuffle, or play it one after the other. All it has is a headphone jack and a clip. What could be more simpler than that? So obviously, the shuffles are super practical and they have their own reason for being used. Far easier than carrying around your phone. This is pretty easy compared to bringing your phone around with you. You don't have to have any of those silly armbands or have it in your pocket or worry about breaking it. On top of that, these were not too expensive compared to the other members of the iPod line. The Nano, I mean, come on. It's just a smaller iPod. What more could you want? Incredibly pocketable. Not that this isn't, but come on. This is like 5 credit cards stacked onto each other. If you want a little more control, not just hit play and go, this makes a little more sense. Now this is my personal iPod shuffle from back in the day. And it's been, you know, sadly relegated to the box of old batteries I don't know how to dispose of. Could I Google how to figure it out? Yeah. Will I actually get rid of it? Probably not, because it's my iPod. Truly a damn shame. I have tried coming up with some ways or ideas to repair the shuffle or nanos. There really just doesn't seem to be a way to salvage these. I do think though that if someone had the right technical know-how, they could maybe rehouse the internals of the shuffles and nanos, maybe like into a custom housing, more akin to something like that of the first gen Nano. Something that you can actually, you know, open up and repair. Because the big issue with these is that everything is practically sealed inside and there's no way to squeeze it out. But even if this were done, there's still many shuffles and nanos that already have a case of the swells and you can't disassemble those. Not without being destructive. And even so, I don't know how destructive you could be without facing the same problems of puncturing the battery. But maybe if reshelling actually became more of an option, then a more destructive way of disassembling these wouldn't be too big of an issue because they'll live on in another shell. I don't really know how feasible that would be without running into those same issues, but someone could figure it out. So yeah, I don't know, at least to me, I think reshelling or rehousing these some way is probably the only actual solution to this, and that's, you know, heavy quotations on the solution. You are probably going to end up having to ruin your iPods to get them out of there, but it would give them a new lease on life if reshelling were possible. So yeah, I just wanted to bitch about something. I was looking around through all my stuff and I found my little container of batteries and my iPod was in there, and it's sad, it's frustrating because this is just e-waste now. Can't really use them for much, especially if they're already bloated, so don't let your shuffles and nanos get bloated if you can help it. So yeah, hopefully someday someone's able to actually figure out how to fix these or replace the battery in them. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Click on the links to watch any of my other videos. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.